Welcome to Taking It to the Nub, Season 2, Episode 2. And tonight, I think tonight's going to be a fun night because I've been learning about this concept all during the late fall and winter with a bunch of friends that I know that have introduced me more friends that have these things called cigar tents. I have a panel of dreamers here that come up with innovative ways to enjoy a cigar in the northern cold temperatures, the southern cold temperatures. They find a way to sit outside and still have the pleasure. And that's why tonight, actually, I'm smoking the Dreamer, the Luciano Dreamer. This is to you guys because you're dreaming. So let me bring in the panel here. Uh, First one up is Andrew. Andrew, unmute. Tell us about yourself, Andrew.
All right. Well, active duty Navy. Been in 22 years. Hopefully retired this summer. Been smoking cigars probably since 2003, off and on, and then last few years kind of just really picked it up. Been doing a lot of these whereby chats, and I thought to myself, well, I've been ice fishing before, so I know there's shelters that you can use. And I was like, I want to enjoy a cigar. I want to be comfortable. And so I like, okay, well, ice fishing shelter, did a Amazon search and found, the Eskimo Quick Fish 2i insulated, and just outfitted with I've got couple tables in here, and
pan your phone around.
That's great. Yeah.
Pan your phone around a little. Let's see what you got. Look at this. Couches, lights,
table.
It's a lounge.
Yeah, it's amazing.
What are you smoking tonight?
Well, my usual Romacraft, so Aquitaine Mandible.
All right.
So it's a staple for me. So
here's a question for you, just to understand you. Apples or oranges?
Can I choose both? I would say apples.
Yeah, because you can't put peanut butter on an orange. All right, let's bring in, I'm going to leave you unmuted, so I'm going to bring in Brad.
Hey, how's it going?
How you doing, Brad?
I'm doing well. So I'm Brad Haney. I live in Elkhart, Indiana, Midwest. And I actually got the idea for the fishing tent from Andrew, meeting him in the whereabouts rooms during the COVID pandemic. I opted for a Quick Fish 3. It's a 70 by 70. It has 2 doors, 4 windows. I have a little space heater. My phone is magnetized to a pole where I can see it at eye level. I have like an outdoor floodlight that lights everything up. Something different about my tent, I take it down when I'm not using it because I've had it blow across my yard. So I take it down and up when I'm done using it. But it's a game changer. Yeah, it really keeps me warm and able to enjoy great friends on these whereby rooms and cigars.
Pan around. Let's see your setup.
Can you see that?
Pretty simple living. There you go.
Yeah.
Works. So, Brad, what's your favorite book?
The Bible.
All right. There you go. Brad Haney. Thank you. Chris, let's bring Chris in.
Hey, how you doing, Jimmy?
All right, brother. How you doing?
Good. My name's Chris. Chris Morris. I'm from Woodstock, Illinois. So we're like kind of northwest of Chicago. I also have the Eskimo 3. I actually got the idea from a couple of guys that you'll see here in a little bit. Mark and Shane from Frontline Cigars. My biggest issue is we have a condo, and I was smoking in our garage for a while, but it's a shared garage, so I share it with 4 other units. So it got a little smelly, and there were a few complaints. So after, I can't remember if it was Mark or Shane, one day we were in our group, and I asked him, I'm like, "Are you in a freaking fishing tent?" And he goes, "Yeah." So needless to say, on Black Friday, I found myself at Blaine's Farm in Fleet, and there was a fishing tent for $150 off. So I threw it in the cart, took it home, and got yelled at by my wife. So mine's pretty simple too here. Let me flip this. If I can figure out how to do it on this one. Oh,
I could flip it.
no, okay.
That's
So
why I just painted.
I got a little fan that I bought off of Amazon that's up there to kind of keep the smoke down. And then I got my big buddy heater and just a little table, and that's basically it for me.
Very cool. So, Chris, what is your favorite chick flick?
White chicks.
All right. There we go. Thank you, Chris. Mark Levine, unmute yourself.
How you doing, Jimmy?
I'm doing great, man. How you feeling?
Feeling okay. Feeling okay. Thanks for asking. Man, it's great to see everybody in their tents. It's like we're a tent community. My name is Mark Levine. I am the marketing director of Frontline Cigars. In fact, I'm smoking one of our brand new Defenders tonight. Last year, well, actually in March, I wasn't able to go to my Friday night 12-hour stint at the local lounge. So I found a herf going on online, and there was a guy that had a tent similar to this. And I was in the garage freezing my rear end off, literally sitting on a 1500 watt heater. And so the weather got a little bit better, and I didn't give it much thought. And then it really sucked one day in April. So I decided to look on Amazon, and they had a crazy sale. 2 of the 2 Eskimo 2s. That's what I have. I do not have the insulated. For $200. So I didn't know what I was going to do with the other one. Unfortunately, I gave it to our friend Steve, and I don't know what he does with it. But that's it. I mean, it's been 16 degrees. I'm from south of Chicago, about 25 minutes. It could be 16 degrees, and I could get it up to 71 in here. And I keep my door partially open, and I have 2 of these fans. I'm not able to show you around my tent, and there's not much to see except for my gadgets. I have 2 of these little clip-on fans that I got on Amazon for like $15, and they charge by the USB. And I just aim 1 or 2 of them towards the door, and I'm good to go. I also have a ceiling fan. Let's see if I could show you that. I have a little ceiling fan with a light, so this way it keeps the smoke away from me.
Cool.
But man, I love the tent life.
What are you
Thanks,
smoking
Jimmy.
tonight?
The Frontline Defender.
Oh, that's right. Okay. So, what is one place you've been in your life you'd never want to go back to?
That I never want to go back to.
Mm-hmm.
Camden, Missouri. I lost a 100-pound catfish. I lost probably about 600 hooks in the rocks, and I got bit by my first snake. So no thanks.
Very good. All right. Mike Collins, unmute yourself.
What's going on, Jimmy?
Oh, man, I'm doing good. It's the TP guys. Now, this is a place. Now, pay attention, folks. You got to see what these guys got hooked up. Take it away.
So, I'm Mike Collins. This is my buddy Mike Hamlin. It's his teepee. We're in Milford, Mass, about 40 minutes outside of Boston. It's currently 56 degrees in the teepee. We have some pretty sweet amenities in here, and I'll kind of pan around and show them to you. But so we got Michael. That's Michael. Teepee's pretty tall. We got TV. There's your entrance.
U.S. wood stove.
Nice stove.
So pull up a wood stove, blows it out as a smokestack, and warms that place up.
Yeah, I mean, so he has it set up so the flue goes above the liner, so it creates a nice draft. He's got the flaps, the smoke flaps up top, and then I'll kind of let Michael tell you about the teepee because that's his area of expertise. But I'm smoking a Tatuaje Avion Reserva. As you know, I'm typically smoking a Tat, so I love them. And Mike, go ahead and tell them about the teepee.
I'm smoking a Stolen Throne Crook of the Crown, and this is a 16-foot Nomadics teepee. They're out of Oregon. They're the ones that made all the teepees for Dances with Wolves, and they've sold thousands of teepees. They do custom paint jobs on them, so you can order a kit, and you can order poles from them as well, but it costs just as much for freight as it does for the poles. So I harvested all my lodge pole pines. I peeled them, sanded them, and this thing stays up pretty much all year round. I might take it down for a little maintenance in the summer, but it's a perfect winter shelter. I got some artificial turf on the ground. It's nice and cozy in here. It could be snowing out, and you can adjust the smoke flaps so the snow doesn't come in and the smoke goes out. The Indians really, really know how to do it.
Swivel chairs so we can play cribbage.
This is a very, very cool environment. What I want to ask you guys the question is, what vegetable did your mother give you that you couldn't stand?
Well, I got a good answer for that.
Mine's very simple and quick. Peas.
Yep.
I hate them, and my wife makes them for my boys, and they love them, and they taste like chalk paste. I don't know what it is. They're disgusting.
Like, I'll eat peas, but I think we're twins separated at birth because my mother had to pay me $5 to eat a whole bowl of peas when I was a kid, and I almost threw up. But
Disgusting.
I've grown into love peas. I love all vegetables.
No, still don't love them.
All right. Let's thank you guys.
Thanks for
Let's
having
bring
us.
in Ron. Ron, unmute yourself.
All right. Good evening, everyone.
So, brother.
My name is Ron Grey Wolf Levine. I'm up in the Poughkeepsie, New York area, the greater Hudson Valley. Andrew, again, was the one watching him in the early spring. Last year, I had a gazebo that had a cloth top, and I'd have to keep taking the top off every time we were going to start to get rain. I had wrapped the whole thing in 4-mil plastic, and it did for that time of the year, the March and April. And then as it started getting, I talked to Andrew again. We got talking. He told me what he had, and I went searching, and I wanted something that I could get right away. So I went to Dick's Sporting Goods. They had their brand, the Field and Stream. It's the same. I'm like 99% positive it's the same brand, just with a little different coloring as the Igloo. It's the 3 or 4 man can. I got about 56, 57 square foot of floor area. It's about 8 by 8. I have it on my deck. Have a tarp. Then I've got the anti-fatigue, the big puzzle pieces you can get at Harbor Freight or any of those, and then some Reflectech on the top of that. I've got some Reflectech on the wall behind me. I'm going to try to turn everything and put my cigar down here because I'm going to be lifting up my computer to do this. So I've got there's my exhaust fan. I have another fan that's not in use right now. I don't know if you can see the big black pipe over there. That's for actually drawing the heat back down from the top of the tent down to floor level, so it kind of keeps it circulating around. I use the air flap behind me with the exhaust fan, and between the two of them, I actually can get a full air exchange in here. I just got a 50 CFM bathroom fan, put a little short piece of pipe on it, and out the there. I got an infrared heater. I also have a ceramic heater that I'll throw on in the early morning to really get the place warmed up quick. And I'm out here most of the day. This has actually become my office. It gets me away from my wife. She can do her thing inside, and I'm able to be out here writing or working on graphics. And it's been a savior. Between the virtual rooms and this, I don't think I'd be alive if it wasn't for them.
There you go.
Yeah.
So what was it you were smoking there?
Oh, I'm sorry. I got a Voodoo San Andreas, one of Famous's house brands.
All right, and let me ask you.
Yes, I am him.
1970 Oldsmobile 442 versus 1970 Chevelle SS with 396 cal induction.
Give me the Chevelle.
All right. Very good.
And oh, by the way, Mark and I are not related.
No, but we should be.
All right, Shane, unmute yourself.
What's going on, gentlemen?
All right, man.
All right. So it seems to be a trend, but I got my idea from Andrew. It was you already know. Last winter, when places were still open in my area, I saw Andrew posted in one of the groups we're in, and I'm just like, that's amazing. I mean, absolutely amazing. And this winter with the lockdowns happening and not being able to go to my lounge, there was no other option than to get a hut. And I ended up going up with the Eskimo 60th anniversary. I don't know. I think it's like the 949i, basically with different coloring. It's 99 inches of elbow room, 80 inches height, total of 61 square foot. I use a Lasco ceramic heater, a fan, the same fan that Mark has. He's the one that told me to get it. And I mean, it's a lifesaver. I mean, honestly, like I would be going crazy if I wasn't able to smoke out here in the winter.
All right, and what are you smoking?
I'm smoking a Tatuaje Horror.
Your question is skirts or pantsuits?
Skirts.
All right.
Is that even a question?
Sid Butterfield, unmute yourself.
Yeah.
All right, man.
How are you?
How you doing?
Doing good. We're sitting out here in a gazebo that we started using early on in the pandemic. We got together and since we couldn't go anywhere, started smoking out here in my neighbor's gazebo. And then we got the idea to winterize it. Just put plastic up on the screens and threw a couple of heaters in here. And it grew from about 4 guys out here to 5 or 6. Now it's up to 7 or 8 now that come out here
Nice.
once a week. So it's been a kind of nice little getaway during the pandemic. And I'll flip the camera around here and we'll show you if I can't do that here.
You got to paint it. You just got to paint. Oh, there you go.
There you go.
There we go. So I've got, you'll see some of the guys here in the cabin. You got Bob over here. You got Tim over here. Bob's wife, Paula, over here. We got Jeff, and then we got Marty over here that are coming out tonight. We've got a couple heaters in here that we've got. They do pretty well. Of course, a TV out here. And then we got our stash of bourbon. We kind of named ourselves the Bourbon Boys out here because it was just, we found out we all kind of had a liking of bourbon. So we kind of put our stash up here and all of our favorites. And so we don't have to bring that back and forth from home to the cabin here. So it's been a nice little getaway here, and it's about 25 degrees out. I'm about an hour south of Chicago. I heard some Midwestern good group of guys from the Midwest here. I'm down in Bourbonnais, Illinois, and
Okay.
so it's about 25 degrees out or so, and I'd say it's about 70 degrees here in the cabin right now. It feels pretty good.
What are you smoking?
I've got the El Guganese, the fifth anniversary of that El Guganese.
Nice.
I
like
enjoy
that cigar. Absolutely. Your question is the Easter Bunny or Santa Claus?
This one.
I gotta say Santa Claus.
Yeah, that's a trick question. We got him with us.
All right. So, did I miss anybody? I think I got everybody, right? Okay. So, first question I want to ask you guys, and I want you to kind of interact together, I'll back off, is post-pandemic, is the cigar tent still a thing?
100%.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep. 100%.
Absolutely. In fact, there's a lot of question whether or not people are going to continue to Zoom after the pandemic. I think we're going to, personally, I could speak for myself and a lot of people within the Zooms that I participate. I think we're going to stay in our tents and Zoom.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, for me, it was shocking how much money I was spending going out, 3 nights a week smoking at a lounge. So yeah, I don't see this stopping. Less money spent out there is more money spent on cigars. So, yep, I'll stay here.
Yeah, my membership in my lounge comes up the end of the month, and I'm not going back.
Oh, I was gonna.
$100 a year I can spend on cigars.
Yeah.
Too late.
We actually this group got together. It happened, I think, because of COVID. One of our neighbors had some family members pass away, so the guy across the street started doing a concert just out of his garage, just for the family across the street. And then all of a sudden, it ended up being about 300 people that would just sit out, socially distanced out in the streets, listen to the guy play in his garage, and got to know a lot of people that I wouldn't have known if it weren't for the pandemic. Which one good thing to come out of 2020, I would say, is got to know a lot of people that I wouldn't have known before. But as far as what I'll continue with this, absolutely, rather than going to Chicago down to one of my favorite lounges, Ewan Reese, I'll stay down here and smoke in the cabin. I'll probably go up there too once or twice, but I really enjoy the cabin.
My local lounge is like 30 minutes away, and so I can be in my backyard, talk with people I know and met on these chat rooms, and enjoy the time far more than having to travel back and forth. And yeah, so this is definitely gonna stay.
Yep. Yeah, same here. The best lounge that we found is about an hour and 15. So, I'd rather just come out here and, I can drink, don't have to worry about having to drive or whatever, and, still have a good smoke and still see everybody. So this is definitely going to stay for me.
Oh yeah. I mean, I say my local lounge is about an hour away in Manassas, Virginia. So Tobaccology, if you guys ever heard of it, great shop, but I only go there if, maybe there's a special event or, but otherwise I'm here like 90% of the time. Cause with a sick child with cancer, his immune system is compromised. So I'm not going out anyways. I was doing this way before the pandemic. So this is kind of like my hideaway,
How many cigars do you guys smoke a day?
I'd say about 3, 4 maybe.
I refuse to answer because my wife may be watching.
Typically, the TP is a 2 to 3 cigar evening when I'm here.
So interesting. So
We'll probably get about 2 or 3 out of the gazebo here.
For Mancino?
Have
3
you
to 4.
found yourselves smoking more cigars this year than last year?
Absolutely. I used to smoke like once or twice a week. Now I'm smoking, since the pandemic, I'm smoking 1 or 2 or 3 cigars a day. Yeah. No.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Definitely the same for me.
Yeah, like I say, when I'm out here working, it's nice. I can have the cigar going. There's times where if I'm getting busy, I'll go, all right, I lit a cigar. Oh shit, that was an hour ago. because I'm just typing away and I'm just not thinking about it. But yeah, anywhere some days I've gone as many as 5 in a day out here, and I was never. Most of the time, it was maybe 2 a day before this whole thing.
So I'm gonna put you guys. I'm gonna mute you for a second. We gotta pay some bills here and thank our sponsors. So today's show is brought to you by Frontline Cigars. And as you know, if you've been watching the show, Frontline Cigars is always on the front line of flavors, innovation, and giving back to those who serve. They're a first responder-owned company based in the Chicagoland area. Frontline Cigars strives to give back to those that serve, whether it is the first responders or military, through numerous charitable foundations. At frontlinecigars.com, you'll find a wide range of cigars from boutique to everyday brands, in addition to a fine selection of cigar accessories and swag. And just for tonight, I want to highlight something. We have a new Stogie Press sampler on frontlinecigars.com. And so the new sampler includes the new Romeo and Julieta Reserve Real, the Frontline cigar, the Amendola, Hiram and Solomon, and a Rockefeller Lancero for $47.99. So if you like those reviews I did, these are all 91 or more on my site. Check it out, frontlinecigars.com. Today's show is also brought to you by Tarazona Cigars. Tarazona Cigars, they do it with passion. Every cigar that goes in every box of Tarazona Cigars is done with passion, from the placement of it to the creation of it to where the bands are put on it. Every person that's involved in this does it with passion. So the next time you're looking for a fine smoke, do it with passion and reach for Tarazona. You can follow Tarazona Cigars on Facebook and Instagram and visit www.tarazonacigars.com. I'd like to thank all my sponsors. Without you, this is always a little harder to do. So I'll unmute everybody. How long have some of you been smoking cigars? I mean, you got these cigar tents, so you're pretty passionate about cigars. So how long have you been smoking cigars?
I would say, well, since 2003, which was when I actually had my first premium hand-rolled cigar. I was on deployment, and we had every 45 days or so, when you're out to sea in the Navy, you get a beer day. Well, we had 2 beer days, so we were out about 103 days, and the second beer day was a beer and cigar day. And a friend of mine gave me I'm pretty sure it was a Maduro, and that kind of was what really started it. And it's sporadically since then, but the last 6 or 7 years, pretty heavy. So
I'm pretty new, coming up on like 4 years. Highly addicted. Love it. Great hobby. Great people.
Up at Carl Sandburg.
I started smoking probably back, 90. So it's going on about 30 plus years now that I've been smoking on and off. And then met a guy that owns a shop down in Alabama and really got into him. Worked with him for a number of years. And so he and I would always, whenever we got together on business trips, that was our pastime. And then have really, kind of got over the last probably 5 years or so, really gotten into it, to collect a few good cigars and starting to pair them with a good bourbon, and it's a really good pastime. So
Tim Milner, I know pretty well, and he's got a brother over there who's kind of a crazy guy long here.
Anybody
Yeah,
else?
I've been in it for about 2 or 3 years now. I'm a first responder, so one of my good copper buddies actually got me into it. And I was just amazed when I came into it how like nice and helpful the community was. You know, when you first get into it, you walk into a humidor, and I have no freaking clue what I was looking at, or what the difference was, and the sizes, and if it was a mild or a medium or a full body. So just everybody helped me, through the cigar groups, even at the shops. Was just super helpful. I just thought that was really cool, coming into this, not knowing anything, and all the help that I was given.
When I was 18 years old, my friends and I would drive to the mall and go to a place called the Tinder Box. It was mostly a pipe place, but they sold cigars. And we would always get Macanudos and H. Upmans in the tubes. And we would watch basketball or go to the Chicago Bulls games. So that went on and off from 1980, when I was 18, pretty much until my mid 30s. And then I would have like a Al Capone or a Backwoods or something whenever I would go fishing. But I developed post-traumatic stress disorder about 4 years ago. And I needed something to calm me down. So I was passing a cigar shop, and I decided that maybe having a cigar, I mean, people always seem pretty relaxed when they're having a cigar. So I bought some cigars. Like Chris, I had no idea. I always bought the exact same cigars because I thought they were cool, and they didn't seem cheap. I don't even know what Macanudo or what H. Upman it was. And then I started just before I knew it, I liked all the different ranges, all the different mild and medium and bold, especially bold, full body. And before you knew it, I had 2,500 cigars, and
Wow.
and I've tried, I smoke about 3 a day.
Shane, the panel, the audience wants you to tell the story about the snow that collapsed the roof on your tent.
You can tell Steve to. Never mind. All right. Yeah. Well, so it was the first time I was in the tent when it was snowing, and we got like 6 inches, and it was really heavy, wet snow. I didn't even think about it, and I'm sitting on the Zoom with Steve, Jimmie. You might have been there, I'm not sure. And yeah, the roof fell in. It scared the shit out of me. But yeah,
you're not the only one it's happened to.
That's
yeah,
right.
yeah, learning experience.
Yeah.
So
Well,
now
and then a couple Zooms ago, I got attacked by my light when we had that 60-mile-an-hour wind gust.
oh yeah.
Yeah, my wife.
So I have mine ratchet strapped 4 points around my deck, so I'm not worried about wind or anything. But yeah, so now I use one of those telescoping snow removers, and if it's snow, I step out every hour and clear it off. Yep. And make sure you tell Steve, or actually Steve, thank you for bringing that up. Appreciate it.
Yeah,
Steve doesn't know.
I had the same thing happen to me. Actually, it didn't happen while I was in it. I actually used a heavier brush, and I must have hit the top, and just enough to dislodge the little hubcap, and it came in. And it was after I'd moved everything, thinking, you know what, it might go. So I lowered everything. Boy, the next day, trying to shovel that heavy, wet snow out of it. Like you said, afterwards, I now have a tarp on the top of it that I'll be able to scrape off. And if you do have one, the best thing, like I say, about every hour, if it's snowing, just go around and pound the top of it. That'll knock that snow off, especially the heavy, wet stuff. Most of them will say rain repellent. If you get one, yeah, in quotes, exactly, Brad. Yeah. Get some waterproofing, waterproof it. Not just the top, the other spot where it can really get bad is the flaps that are around the outside that are meant to go on the ice normally to keep it down. If you waterproof the top of them, then you won't get any seepage up the walls and everything. So it's yeah. So the snow thing, yeah, there's advantages if you've got, like, Andrew's probably got one of the best setups in the fact that he's got an overhanging deck above it. But it's worth it. You know, it's worth the extra effort to you know, to clean that snow off.
I got a phone call from my wife the other day. How do you open up your shed? Your tent blew across the yard, and our neighbor's yard, and was heading towards the street because of the wind.
Yeah.
I wasn't in it, but
yeah, I've got mine the same as Shane. I've got mine locked off. Actually, what I did is I have that metal frame to my gazebo. So I actually, on the one end, the end that I'm sitting in here, is actually wedged in to that opening. So that holds it. And then I've got, you know, I've got two that are airline cable and two that are bungee cords. So it actually has some play because we've had those 60 and 70 mile an hour winds. And I live up from a little small man-made lake. So there's always the winds coming up through the backyard.
So another audience question, Burks Chris asks this question is, what kind of heat sources do you use in the tents? And I would add to that, what do you think, what would you guys, based on what you're seeing, is like the best heat source?
I would have to say the infrared heaters. Like, I got mine at Home Depot. It's like $60 and the thing is a beast. I mean, for my setup, it just works. You just kind of have to find, I mean, there's multiple sources, but that's what works for me. So
yeah,
I use a 1500 watt Lasco ceramic heater, and it's like 18 degrees here right now, and it's 62 in the tent right now, and I'm comfortable.
Yeah, I have both the Lasco ceramic. Like I say, I start up in the morning when it before I come out here, get it warmed up a little bit, try to take the chill out, and then I have the I've got one of the the infrareds for the house, and I've got it actually again pointing towards the reflect deck, so it does what the infrared's meant to do. It actually just sends it around better. And I eat a lot of beans.
We've got two heaters out here in the gazebo. They're Mr. Heater, got them at Menards. I think they're about $100 a piece. They hold a single tank of propane on the back, and got enough ventilation out here, so we don't worry about any fumes. And we did pretty well with one heater, but once it starts getting down, 10 degrees outside, we put a second one out here, and it keeps it really warm.
Yeah, in fact, I'm sorry. Yeah, I just looked, it's getting down into the 20s here, and I'm sitting at 77 degrees in here.
I also got
down
two.
By Jimmie.
I also got two of them. I actually picked up one last year, just a little $5 electric one that was on clearance at Walmart, thinking, oh, maybe it'll help in the garage if I point it right at myself. But when it gets to negative 30 over here in the Chicagoland area, it didn't really help. So I was using that one up until about a week or so ago. And then it really wasn't being able to keep up in my tent. So now I got a Mr. Buddy too, a big buddy. It's a same thing. It can hold up to 2 of the little camping propanes cylinders, but I have the little adapter, so I run it out underneath, and I got an actual propane tank right outside. It's probably about 50 in here too, 50, 60 right now with the setting I have it on.
Yeah, I think it's relative to whatever your setup allows, right? Mike's got the opportunity to have this wood stove in the middle. The wood stove's probably, 16 inches by 34 to 32 inches, something like that. And maybe 12, 14 inches tall, sits on some legs. And I don't know where it's probably, it's not very cold outside tonight up here in Boston, but it's 72 right now in the teepee. So I don't need the sweatshirt. I just like to wear it.
So Peter Ganese asks, how many of you have passed out in your tent after a night of herfing? Show a hand.
Thought about it, but not yet.
Have you passed out on
Not yet.
Not yet.
extra LED strip that I got on Amazon. I bet it go along this
Not
whole
passed out,
perimeter.
but it's come pretty close to
Colors on it and everything.
Yeah.
somebody maybe throwing up in a driveway.
If the teepee was mine, I would say it would happen probably more often than not. But the teepee is not. It's a mile from my house, so Michael kicks me out when he gets tired, and So no, I have never, but I think Michael has.
I think I've taken a nap or two in the teepee. It just gets nice and warm in here.
I've been out here as late as 5:30 in the morning, but
So Peter also asked the question, are these do-it-yourself tents, kits, or did you buy a tent and do all of these modifications to it? I mean, obviously the heaters and stuff separately, but
I think most of us, Jimmy, bought like the Eskimo or a version of the Eskimo, which was again intended to be a pop-up tent, almost like a little dome tent. They have the little aluminum rods, and all you do, it gets to pretty small. It kind of fits in a package like those 4-post tents that you have, if you're tailgating. And
or camping chair.
Yeah, or like a camping chair, right? And you just pull the sides out. I mean, it takes about 3 minutes to put them up.
If that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Once you get it down, I mean, up and down quick. The first time I set mine up, I struggled. I had no idea what was for sure. And now, like, honestly, when it gets super windy here, I do take it down. But I can take it down in a minute and put it up in a minute. It's so easy.
Yeah. This one don't move. This baby's here.
yeah.
So you all got stashes of bourbon in your tents or whiskeys?
Yeah, I've got a bottle of Monkey Shoulder and a bottle of Johnny Walker Swing.
There you go.
Got my Woodford
my coffee, Jimmy, and my San Pellegrino, as you know.
Yeah, mine's a dry tent.
We've got some Colonel Taylor out here. We've got some Basil Hayden, some Blantons, some Buffalo Trace, Smoke Wagon, some Wild Turkey Reserve.
And after
I
this,
think that's about it.
I know where I'm going after this pandemic. Take a trip up there.
I got all my stuff inside. I just taking it easy tonight. I'm just got a Yangling lager tonight
with some Hershey's in it.
No, not that one. Just a regular one.
That's a good one.
So the panel, the audience wants to know if Shane is going to do a snorkel for us.
No.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is.
Come on, Chris.
So
he says that his tent is dry except for the snorkel.
I just finished no, I'm not doing one.
All right. Can you at least explain to the audience so we expand the knowledge of what a snorkel is?
Sure. I'll make one. It's easier to make one. I'll just make one. I'll go grab the stuff in a minute. Steve, I'm gonna assume Steve is asking all these questions.
No, Steve didn't ask that question.
That's great. I'll go get this. I'll go get the stuff in a minute.
But he does say that you have Red Bull and vodka for snorkels.
I'll grab it. Yeah, give me a minute.
Oh, everybody, you have to do it now, man. The audience is all over.
I don't know. We're gonna find out.
Red Bull, it's a drink.
All right.
So, so while he's going to make a snorkel, do you guys? Anybody have any questions for me?
When you get an ice fishing tent.
All right, so I'm actually sitting in Florida, okay, and it's actually cold out. It's actually dropping down into 40 or below tonight. Into maybe.
I was going to say, I think some of us have got. It's warmer in our tents than it is out there than it is in Florida right now.
So we get cold weather, and I'm in my cigar lounge, which is my garage, but it's all converted into a lounge with a bar and a couple of tables and desks, and I have like 18,000 BTUs of AC that blows in here in the summer. So it's like, I got the opposite problem. It's too hot and it's too humid to smoke a cigar, right? So you sit outside, it doesn't work, just like it doesn't work in the cold. So what I ended up doing is I put this thing in. It's like 75 degrees when it's 98 outside. It's comfortable, smoking, perfect. And then in the winter, like this time, I'm about ready after the show probably to turn on the heat. It throws heat in here, just warms the place up. So that's what I did.
Yeah, I think when I move down to Florida, which is my goal by this year, it's supposed to happen. I shouldn't be sitting in this. Now, my goal was to have been down on the West Coast by now, but good old COVID threw the monkey wrench there.
Oh, well,
I think I'm gonna.
You're welcome with open arms in Florida. Come on down.
Yeah, but I think I'm going to bring this down. I've got the stand up, the portable air conditioners, and I think I'll hook that up the same way I got the exhaust fan hooked up. That would take it out. And
just be careful with the portable AC because it when it's really hot and humid, it really the exhaust is really hot.
Yeah. Like I say, that'll be out, so that's, unless of course I can find an outbuilding already there for the first year. That's kind of what I'm looking for. And then I'll, but these things, like I say, for anywhere from 100 to 400, depending on what you want to spend on them. And we know a friend of ours, D. Pittman, he found one on Amazon that was, quote unquote return, but they couldn't sell it as new, but it listed as good as new. And she picked up one for, I think, like $100. So,
yeah, same model as mine.
Yeah.
Andrew just posted out a link in the feed for where you can find some cool stuff on Amazon. So Shane,
yeah, mother one.
Yep.
We're gonna teach the audience about how to do a snorkel, right?
Sure. Yep.
All right.
All right. Take a can of Red Bull. Yeah. Put a hole in it, like you're gonna shotgun it.
In the side or the bottom?
Bottom. So I got a hole. Well, here I'll dump it out first and then go it. So dump about half out, and you got the hole right there. Try not to spill everything like I am.
I don't drink, but I like what he's doing.
Take some vodka or whatever, Jaeger. Fill it up. Fill up the other part. Cheers.
There you go.
And then.
Well. Well done.
Beautiful. That's fantastic.
No, it's not.
When are you going to stop using the baby cans?
I did it one time with the 12-ounce can. No, man. So, I mean, just that little can, you're doing like 4 shots, and then the excess probably another 2. No, not with the 12-ounce can.
Where did you learn to do that?
So I bartended at a college bar in Madison, Wisconsin from 07 to 09. And that was when the Jaeger bombs were, just starting off and big hit. And one time after work, me and about 4 other guys were like, how do we get drunk quicker? We're all early 20s, and we ended up just coming up with that. Just let's shotgun it. And
Nice.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to put you guys on mute for a second again, and this is where I do my part of the show where we talk about what's new in news and cigar reviews on Stogie Press. So this week, I've been light on the cigar reviews. We're just kicking off the year. I've kind of been smoking some stuff that I've already smoked and just enjoying life and not doing too many reviews. But we did have a big news week. So the 2 cigars we reviewed this week was the All Saints Dedicación Berkey. This cigar is an absolutely gorgeous cigar. They're a new company owned by Mickey Pegg. So if those of you that know Mickey, this is his company. It's an absolutely beautifully box pressed cigar. I love the marbling that's going on through it and that nice dark chocolate looking wrapper. They come 20 in a box. And you can just, I mean, nice ash, very decent ash cone, right? Right down. I mean, it's the only thing it did was a slightly flat burn cone going through it and a bit of a jagged burn, which is just points I got to take off because I got to be consistent. But this thing was consistent across all these samples. It had some great flavor, cocoa, cinnamons, and floral and caramel and spice running through it. So this is a very nice and pleasurable cigar. So we gave this one a 93. And then the other one we reviewed was the Amendola Cremoso. So some of you might have seen Jeffrey on Taking It to Nub last year. This is the Cremoso. It came out in December of 2020. And this is a beautiful Ecuadorian Connecticut. Very little veins on it. Nice adornment. I love his bands, and he always puts his little Italian heritage shield on here. And this one here came in, it had some white pepper and floral and herbal notes. I would call it moderately complex. Some of these notes were a little more muted than what you may think. So I would just say that this is moderately complex, but if your palate's picking up some good things, you'll pick up some very interesting nuances throughout this smoke. So it was very pleasurable. It did have mild wave and a burn, and there was a slight off burn at the end here, where you can see. So that was the points we took off. And in the beginning, it did have a kind of an open pre-light drawer on it. So it wasn't as snug as I would normally like a cigar to be. And it did burn a little faster, probably because of that. But that's Amendola. We gave this one a 91. So that's the reviews. The news this week was pretty busy. I won't go through all the details. You can read the articles. The TAA, which is the Tobacconists Association of America, they canceled their 2021 annual meeting. They're eventually going to do a virtual meeting later in the year. Former Nat Sherman executives. So the big news out there, everybody wanted to know where Michael Herklotz was going to land. And we now know he started his own venture with the VP of Finance from Nat Sherman, the old Nat Sherman. The two of them got together and they've decided to open up their own cigar venture. It's called Fierro Tego, which, by the way, stands for Slay Then Berry. That's their family. That's the family part of family crest of Herklotz. And this is a really good article. There's really good talks about what they're doing, and we're welcoming what they're coming out with the new blends. Plus, they'll be bringing back some of the old Nat Shermans, the popular Nat Shermans like the Metropolitan. Plasencia announced this new cigar called the Fuerte 601 Hexagon. This is a hexagon pressed cigar, very strange shape for a cigar, but they made these before, and now they're doing this with the Alma Fuerte. Zev Zeminski is named the vice president of sales for Fratello Cigars. So you read about what Fratello's doing. I've seen people are hiring in the industry. I'm beginning to see a lot of growth over the years. And now some of these small companies like Fratello, they're beginning to need better distribution. So that's very cool. And then, of course, I announced last week the overall cigar of the year for me was the Rocky Patel Grand Reserve Robusto. And we'll have Rocky on the show maybe later in January. He's working his schedule now, and we'll be talking all about this and all things Rocky. So that's the cigar news and reviews in Stogie Press. So what do you guys, Are you all like at home? Do you go to work, or are you all basically confined to home base areas?
I do it every day.
I work from home, so it's at
and then the outside is-
and pretty much so 5 days a week. I used to travel 2 or 3 or 4 days a week. And I haven't really traveled for business much since April, but I do work from home.
So cigar smoking up.
That's right.
There you go.
I do construction, so nothing's changed for me. Wake up, go to work, come home, go in the tent.
Yeah, I'm on compassionate reassignment, so my duty is pretty much taking my son to the hospital, and otherwise, a couple times a week. Otherwise, I'm at home most of the time.
I work for myself, and I'm here. Like I say, if I'm not, I very rarely go out other than maybe to take a wife or myself to a doctor's appointment. That's about it. But getting back to a question you asked earlier, I think if I added up all the years, I'm not sure, but I think I started smoking cigars in 1975.
Man, 2 years before me.
And I'm 63 years old.
And I'm 60.
I was one.
Yeah. Yeah. As I say, so I know Jimmie and I were close, as I said. So it's like, yeah. So, and my first one going back, well, the first one was before I was 17. That was, my uncle smoked, White House, and I wanted a cigar, and here, you want one? Here, go ahead. It turned green, and they thought they'd stop me, but that never stopped me. And started with Royal Jamaican.
Very good. Mine was Garcia Vega.
I never went back. Never went back to the. Never went back to the. The machine made stuff after. Found. I started actually with a pipe and going to the tobacconist. He got me into the cigars.
Anybody else?
I think my first cigar was an H. Upman.
That's cool.
That's
My
a
first
pretty big.
cigar.
That's a pretty big bar to set, huh?
My first cigar was a Dunhill aged Dominican.
My first cigar was a Philly Blunt. My first real cigar was a Cohiba Siglo 6 on my honeymoon in 02.
Nice.
Whether it was real or fake, I can't tell you.
I want to say that the Macanudo that I had in a tube was probably the Macanudo Cafe, and still to this day I enjoy those. So I have a feeling that that's what it was.
I would say when I got into it, of course, I really discovered premium cigars probably a decade or so later, like once I got out of college and all of that, got a real job. And I ended up having my first real premium cigar was a Punch Double Punch. Big, freaking long, freaking extra long freaking cigar. Good 2.5, 3 hours smoke. And then we were at this, my colleague and I were at a supplier in West Massachusetts, and we were at dinner, and afterwards he asked if we smoke cigars. I go, yeah, I smoke cigars. So he gives us these. He says, don't smoke these now, boys. He says, when you're going back to Boston tomorrow on Route 2, just fire those cigars up and enjoy it. So we did that, and it took the whole trip down Route 2 smoking that cigar. And the two of us just looked at each other and said, what rock are we living under? And I went on a tear from that point to today. That was decades, man. Just experimenting, learning, anything I can. Anybody ever been down to a field or down in Nicaragua or any of the islands?
Not in the islands. I've been in in Connecticut.
You've been to the which ones, the broadleaf or the Connecticut?
The broadleaf, and then and then the shade, because like I say, I'm 45 minutes from Danbury, so I would see the shade all the time. Sad when
So-
it was sad seeing the tents go down.
So apparently I didn't unmute myself, so I got to catch up on a couple questions. I was wondering why no one was going to hear me, but so I've been basically going to work since the start of this. I'm a firefighter EMT, so every third day I get up, go to work for 24 hours, come home, take a nap, smoke a cigar. But my first cigar was probably back in sophomore or junior year of high school. A kid that we knew at the time, his dad allegedly had some real Cubans, so we snuck one of those, and oh man, did we fuck that! Sorry,
Right.
I didn't know if we could swear, but anyway, we messed this thing up really bad because we had no idea what we were doing. But after that, when I first got back into it for, as an adult, my first one was a leaf by Oscar that the lovely gentleman who gave it to me did not tell me that it was wrapped in a leaf. So I tried to light it with a leaf on it.
Oh, man.
Again, you're not the first one.
Yeah,
I actually saw a guy at our lounge do it. We were trying to tell you.
Oh, yeah.
We let him do it.
Oh yeah. So now I let everybody else. That's typically the first one I'll give somebody if they've never tried one.
Yeah. The other one to have a lot of fun with, guys, is the Insidious. And don't tell somebody it's got the, and they go, what? It says right in the name, it's Insidious.
I think I have an Insidious in my locker somewhere.
Yep. But it is, I don't want to give the whole out about it. But if you know of it, you'll know what I'm speaking of.
So do you guys go to, so you say some of you go to lounges. When you go to a lounge, what do you like about a lounge?
I'd have to say that it's the atmosphere. It's from the owner to the regulars. Like for example, when I went to Tobaccology, I went there the first time, and I felt like I was a regular. And it's just the way that people welcome you into the lounge, and the attitude of everyone in there, and of course their house cigar at the time, which they still have, is made by Oscar. It was excellent.
Do you have any pet peeves about lounges when you go into them?
Not really. Not too
Not
many.
really.
I can't think of anything.
On the
I'm sure you
same
guys.
token, if you really don't know the people that work there very well, and they're kind of standoffish, it just puts a bad taste in your mouth. Or if they act snobbish, like.
Yeah. My pet peeve is when the owner doesn't recognize a new potential person, where they're too involved. They're too involved with their regulars.
Very much so.
Jimmie, I like the thing I like going to the lounge is when you're there, it feels like every cigar in the place is your humidor. So it feels like, you go to your humidor, the humidor there, and you have this massive array of different cigars and different shapes and what have you. So it's kind of like a kid in the candy store,
The lounge I go to, I actually drive about an hour away to go to it, and everyone there is just absolutely amazing. They know everything about every cigar they have. They've never steered me wrong. Their selection is top notch. It's a beautiful place, and like you said, you walk in and your family. It's just a great place. Lake Country Cigars in Delafield, Wisconsin. That's my home away from home. Besides the tent.
Oh yeah.
Tyler.
About 90%.
I started going to a lounge in Chicago. I worked downtown for a number of years, and I would get off work. They didn't want to drive home through rush hour, so I would go to Iwan Reese and sit in the lounge there. And that was, I think that's, somebody mentioned atmosphere. The other thing I liked about it is, I'm going in there and I work with school districts and I'm selling to schools, but everybody there are day traders and otherwise, and they treat you like there was no class there, and it's trying to say I'm better than you. It was like your family, and they treated you the same, whether you're a day trader or you're a guy. Police officers would come in there, and so just it was that kind of atmosphere that I enjoy.
There's no pain to it.
It's good when it puts everyone on the same playing field.
Yes.
You're there to enjoy a cigar. It doesn't matter what you do. You all have something in common.
That's what I was gonna say. When you walk in, everybody's there in a roundabout way for the same reason. The atmosphere, the knowledge. For me, traveling to different places, I like to. My fun is the hunt, finding the stuff that you can't normally find every day online or at your local B&M. You stumble across something with an old box code, you get a nice aged cigar. Like that stuff to me is fun as hell, and getting to talk to people with like-minded thoughts. It's humbling, and it's tranquil.
Good, very good. So I'm going to close out the show, but the way we're going to close it out is I'm going to put you all on mute again, and I'm going to ask each to give as my good friend Big Time Tommy would say, like to know your thought of the day. So with everything in the world, we'll start with put everybody on mute. Andrew, what is your thought of the day? You got to unmute yourself, bro.
Well, there we go. Sorry about that. Everyone's going through something. You don't know what it is, but this right here is the equalizer. It's the icebreaker. It doesn't matter. There is no bad cigar. A friend of mine, Dan's Cigar Lounge, told me, he said, because everyone has different tastes, and no matter what you're going through, you can sit down and chat about whatever, and it just kind of, like I said, breaks the ice, and just treat everyone like you want to be treated, and have a fine cigar.
There you go.
The rest is history.
Brad, what's your thought of the day? Gotta unmute yourself. Yeah, you're muted, bro.
So whatever's going on in the world, just look for the next day to be a better day. Always strive to be better than the day that you had before.
All right.
Each day brings new beginnings, and hold the ones close to you close. That's it.
Mark.
Hey, Jimmy.
Thought of the day.
Well, I lost my father a few weeks ago, and I'm not one to make New Year's resolutions because, lose weight, whatever, grow some more hair. But I woke up this morning and I decided that my New Year's resolution was to be happy this year. And I think that's what we need to do for ourselves. We need to give ourselves some grace and some acceptance, self-acceptance, and really appreciate what we have and who we have, and not look for the stuff or what's bad in the news or what's good in the news, but just find the happiness in life.
All right. Thank you. Ron, what's your thought of the day?
Thought of the day is when you get up in the morning, check the obits online. If your name's not there, it's a good day. And stop being your own worst enemy. What's ever going on, you can overcome it.
There we go. Thank you very much.
And Mark, may his memory be a blessing. Brooks, I met.
Absolutely. Andrew, what's your thought of the day? Oh, we already did Andrew. Sorry about that. The things were moving around. Chris, what's your thought of the day?
So I also lost my mom last month after she battled health issues for forever. But so my thought of the day was she once told me, never stop helping people, never give up, keep fighting. So I think that would be my thought of the day. With all the stuff that's going on in the world and COVID and everything, just get up every day, do the best you can do. Like one of the other guys said, make it a better day than it was yesterday, even if it's you smoked one more cigar, or whatever, you help somebody. So that'd be my thought of the day. Just don't give up, keep fighting. We'll eventually get through it.
Thank you. Shane, thought of the day.
Seize every day. Make it better than the last. Drink good bourbon, scotch, cognac, vodka, whatever it is. Smoke good cigars. Eat good steak. Easy enough.
Who did I miss? Mike Collins and crew.
So I don't know, man. You know, the world is a messed up place right now, and you know, these kind of bring it all close to you and make it better for that time. So, you know, enjoy a good cigar, enjoy good company. I got Michael here. He's good company most of the time, and
all the time.
The real thought of the day, though, Jimmy, is the Washington Redskins are going to upset the Tampa Bay Bucks.
My quick thought of the day is be grateful, right? Find something every day to be grateful for. Today, I'm grateful for Mike Collins, who brings me good cigars and he chops my firewood.
I got to earn my keep.
There we go. Well, I want to thank everybody. Let me give you my thought of the day before we leave. Real simple: peace, love, and compassion for one another. And please, let's try to have more humanity in 2021.
Yep.
Thanks for having us, Jimmy.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Thanks,
Jimmy.
I'd like to thank everybody.
Thanks, Jimmy.
It was a